After 24 years serving in the Navy, just trying to figure out what else I'm going to do. I get a lot of questions about, Danny, you're retiring now. What are you going to do? Well, here it is. This is her. This is my dream car. This right here, what you're looking at, is a 1964 Impala SS. This has been my dream car since I was 13 years old. Now, I've never built a car before by myself, and this one needs a lot of work, as you can tell. But she's a solid car. She has everything. Came just this way. Some rust repair that needs to be done, as to expect. But ultimately, she's pretty good. I would say I'm ahead of the game in some ways. I got a lot of parts, a lot of things, a lot of things to do, but it looks like it's going to be a project. First off, I want to say my name is Danny. I served 24 years in the Navy. I've been working as an aviation boatswain mate handler and working on flight decks of aircraft carriers. And, this has always been a dream of mine right here, this car here. This thing it makes me so happy to have it just like this in this state. But it also makes me anxious because I wanted to get it to where I could drive it and use it. And like I said before, a lot of people ask me what it is that I was going to do when I retire. And the first thing that popped into my head was I want to build my dream car. And although, this car needs a lot of work, and quite honestly, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a body man, I'm not a upholstery guy. I have never done any of that stuff. Well, I've done body work and I've worked on cars and I'm pretty mechanically inclined. I'm not going to take that away from myself, but I just wanted to do something that's going to reacclimate me to being a civilian and kind of finding back to who I am. I've always loved lowriders. I live in Miami, so a lot of people here like the big rims and stuff like that. I like the 13s and 14s, to be honest with you. But ultimately, this is my dream. And this car, this restoration is not going to be a concourse quality restoration. It's just going to be me learning as I go, trying to get this to look the best that I can so I can enjoy it with my family. It's not going to be a quick process. I know that. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. Believe me, I know that. I'm sure I've already made some. Ultimately, it's a good car. Like, I'm so excited about it. Some things that I want to talk about, like just little breakdowns. Okay, so first off, I had this car for a couple months now, right? And I got it off Facebook Marketplace. My wife said she wanted to get me the car of my dreams, and boom, she bought it for me because she wanted to do it for me as a retirement gift. So we paid $6,500 for this car. The way it sits with, there's a new frame right here, all new suspension, disc brakes, big brake kit, Willwood brakes, all that stuff. You know, interior parts are all there. I got the door cards right here. I also have more parts over here up on this side. You know, I got a whole brand new floor over here, which I'll show you. Hood. Only thing that I do not have for this car is the front fenders. I have to get those some way, shape, or form. But I have everything, including the motor and transmission. But the motor and transmission is going to be a thing, and I guess I'll, you know, get to that here in a little bit. But you know, this car has been a dream of mine. I keep saying that, I know, because it truly has been, and I'm so excited for this car. I'm so excited for everything about this process. You know, I have been a little bit lazy, and I do feel like there's some times when I, you know, just don't want to work on it, and I imagine that's normal for a lot of people who have restored cars. I'm not an expert at this stuff, right? So if you're looking for a show quality restoration project, I'm not that guy, and I don't know if this is the channel for you. But if you do know how to do those things and you wanted to, you know, kind of pass on some of that knowledge to me, I would greatly appreciate it. And please, by all means, put your inputs. I'll read it. I'll get to it, and hopefully that can help me out with my restoration, and vice versa, whatever I can do to help you out with your restoration, things that I've can come into contact with, and you know, we're all working together and helping each other. And my channel is Retired and Restored. And why that means so much to me is, yes, I've retired from the Navy. That chapter of my life is over with. I loved every second of it. But now I'm restoring myself back to Danny. You know, no longer am I Senior Chief España, I'm Danny now. And Danny is going to build this car. Danny is going to go through trials and tribulations on what it means to be retired, figuring out life. And honestly, you guys are going to go along with me in that aspect of this venture and see how that goes. Maybe I might inspire somebody else to do it. It's not my goal, but if I do, great. And anything I could help you with in my transition to a civilian from a military service member, you know, I hope I could help you in some way, shape, or form. Now, I do live next to a military base in Miami. If you're from Miami, you probably have an idea on where that is. So at times you're gonna hear airplanes in the background. I don't know what to tell you. Also, you know, another thing is I'm building this car in my garage, and I live in an HOA neighborhood. You know, I don't have all the space in the world. I'm trying to do this as cost effective as possible. If I get into a situation and I gotta hire somebody, I gotta hire them. But I think that I'm gonna try to do everything I can by myself. You know, I'm kind of limited on my space. I have day-to-day stuff in this garage, and I have my car in this garage. I have other things. I have a four-wheeler over here. I have, you know, other things that I keep in here. And hopefully, you know, sooner than later, I can combine this into one car, and I'll create some room and eventually do all that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do the painting and stuff in here, but I mean, when that time comes, I'm way far from painting right now. There's so much other stuff we have to do. In the meantime, we're going to do as much as we can here in this garage to save money, to keep it cost effective, because I already own this, so it's mine. I have plenty of tools. I have welders, I have grinders, I have, you know, compressors, and quite honestly, if I have to go buy it, I'll go buy it or borrow it or whatever the case may be. But this job is gonna get done. I am going to drive this car, and I'm gonna enjoy this car. I cannot wait for that, but more importantly, I'm excited for you guys on this journey with me to see this process, and hopefully we all learn something and we get done sooner than later. Now, and I'm gonna kind of bring you into where I've been, what I've done so far to this car. The first thing I wanna do is I want to get to the motor, to take the motor out off the old frame, because I'm going to use some of those parts that are with that old motor and see if I could rebuild that motor and try to save some money that way. If not, then I'm going to end up getting a new one. I'm trying to keep this as original because it's original numbers matching car, VIN number matches. It was built in New York. It has a 283 with a power glide, which I know a lot of people say, you know, don't go with the power glide. But we'll cross that road when it comes to it. I'm going to look at it, see what it's going to take The original owner said that it ran and shifted fine. It just had a knock. So that's not good, obviously. And also when he had it, he had the body off the frame, had the body inside of his garage, and the frame, old frame, was outside, and then this new frame was in another shed. I don't say it's brand new, but it's new. It's powder coated. It looks really good. It's straight. I've already measured, and it's beautiful. Go back to the engine. The engine sat outside, so there's water in it. I know there's water in it because I checked the dipstick and it's milky, and I'll show you that stuff now. All right, so here's the engine. I mean, obviously you could tell that it's a little rusty. It has been sitting outside, and I've already pulled up it mostly apart. I mean, I've loosened up a lot of the bolts, and surprisingly, all these bolts have come out pretty easy, which I don't know if it's right or not, but I think it's because it's a low mile engine, but it looks up there because it's a Northern car. I think he had it in Pennsylvania. You know, it's been sitting outside for a few years. I don't know how many years, but it has. But here are the rockers. Got it pulled off right there, you know, from the passenger side. And, you know, it looks pretty rusty in there. And then here's the driver's side. Not as bad, still kind of crusty. And then when I pulled off this intake manifold, it was pretty rusty in there. If you could tell, you can see the moisture, you know, that had collected, which makes me think that now the cylinders have water in it. And when I pulled this dipstick, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a little bit of milk in there. I mean, it does look kind of, yesterday I pulled it, had a lot of milk in there. Oh, there it goes. And you can see a little milky. I'm praying that it's not that bad. You know, I don't know for sure. There it goes. Look at that. A little bit more milkier. It's down there. It's down there. There it is. It's coming. So we know what we got to deal with. I think that it's going to be pretty rusty, but all the exhaust bolts came out. None of them broke on the exhaust manifolds. They're in very good condition. I have them over here in this parts box right here. Power steering pump came off relatively easy. Water pump, I mean, it spins. There's no shake in it. It doesn't turn over. So I know what that means. It's seized somewhere. You know, obviously it's not going to move if the cylinders are seized. So, and it probably got a little bit of rust in there. I have a bore scope. I haven't done it yet. I haven't gone to look. So some more. I mean, otherwise I have the AC, the original AC unit. The firewall doesn't look too bad. This is going to be the first area I tackle on this car. I think is going to be the firewall, because it looks like it's the most intact. It's going to be a clean paint. You know, any type of minor rust repair I could do. Looks like there's some down there compared to over here. Here there's a little bit, quite a bit more, substantial amount more. You know, we'll see how I could do that. But the body mounts are good. I put those mounts in. Those aren't to stay. Those are the old ones, and I just put those on just to have them to transport the car, because it came from Tampa, and I bought the car in Tampa and then trailered it down here from Tampa down to Miami. This frame obviously is junk. This is the new frame. Here it is. It's got a bunch of stuff on it. I have to clean that out, but ultimately you could see, can't really see, but it's a brand new powder coated frame. It's Canadian frame, boxing in the back. I know it's not the original frame because this is an American car, not a Canadian car, but honestly, it is what it is. I like this. I'm running with it. I got the two bumpers right there, front and back bumper. You might be able to see them. They're gonna need some repairs. I got the OG drive shaft here. It's gonna need a new carrier bolt. Probably needs to be remachined, which I'll have done. There's the core support, the grill, front grill, all the lights, bezels and all stuff like that is up there, up here. And then inside those boxes is like chrome engine dressing. It says chrome accents, engine accessories. I got brand new floor pan all the way from the back seat all the way up to the firewall here. It's all one piece. Don't know if I'm gonna drop it all in at once or if I'm gonna go and try to salvage whatever I can out of the old one, because the old one isn't that bad. We'll see. And then behind that, I have the hood. I have the radiator, OG radiator, which I think might need to be repaired. If not, I'm just gonna buy a new one. I mean, that's probably the easiest. This car for sure needs body mounts in the back. And we all know that those go on Impalas, especially from, you know, this long ago. What, 60 years or so, 62 years, whatever the math is, I don't know. Can't be 62, whatever the math is. My biggest rust concerns here is this gas door right here is pretty much shot and it doesn't hang on. And inside, it's pretty rusty in there, you know, all the way to where the gas tank would be. And then you can see I got a wood block there as my body mount, but that's pretty much rusted out. And then looks like somebody did a patch repair over here on the inside quarter panel, which obviously wasn't the right way to do it. And looks like a drywall self-tapping screws in there. So that led to more and more rusts and, you know, so on and so forth. And it doesn't even look like the repair work was done correctly, but, you know, it is what it is now. So I'm probably going to need an upper and lower trunk. The trunk, actually, the lower trunk is not that bad. And once I clear all this stuff off, I'll show it to you in a later video or so. If you can see, the rear dash is not that bad. It does have some little surface rust here, but I think that, you know, a grinding wheel will take that off. You know, the interior, honestly, brother, honestly, the headliner is sick. It's good. No hanging, you know, all there. The seats are beautiful. No rips, no tears. You know, I got the, I don't know if you can see the console over there, center console over there. Dash, everything, even the lights are in place. I have this other light, it's inside of the glove box. See right there in the glove box. So we're here. The only piece I'm missing right here is this piece right here that goes in between the seat and the door card. You know, I don't know where I could find that at, but, and I'm missing that on both sides, so I'll have to look to see. I have all the manuals. I've been trying to find it. Center console is here. I'm gonna have to transfer all that to the new floor pan if I decide to go that route, which I'm most likely going to, because look at that floor pan. It's not bad. I mean, yeah, over there is rusty, and there are some patch panels that somebody did a long time ago, especially right here. You can see it right here. Really bad job. So I wonder if, like, maybe just a patch will get this floor good to go. Now, the top is a little deceiving, you know, like the top looks good, but if you go underneath, you can see all the supports are pretty much done. See what I'm saying? The support is done. On the other side, it's the same. This frame is no good, so don't worry about the frame. That's going away. So there's like a lot of things that need to get done. A lot of things that need to get done. And I have all the parts to do it, so well, I don't know if you could see that, but I have all the parts to do it. Now it is hot here, and I have this little cover up here. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and build my crane. I bought it off Craigslist. Not Craigslist, I'm sorry. Why did I say that? We don't use Craigslist anymore, really. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. $100 for a 1-ton frame, and I'm going to go ahead and use that to pull the motor and trans off, set it off to the side. I'm going to drain all the liquids before. Hopefully it's not too much. And then, you know, get ready to start tearing apart this motor and seeing what it's all about. I'm excited to see what the pistons look like. I'm excited to see what the trans looks like, even though I saw it when the frame was off the car. But I'm excited to see, you know, see if my suspicions are valid. Other than that, I mean, I'll get back to you when I start doing it. All right, so we gotta go to the store. I gotta go to the hardware store because this crane that I'm building, missing some of the bolts. So, like I said, I bought it off Marketplace. It was disassembled. First mistake that I've made is buying something not assembled from the hardware store. I mean, from Facebook Marketplace. So I gotta go find some bolts. I gotta find a caster nut. Sorry, I didn't put on my seatbelt, so I'm not driving illegally. Yeah, man. So it's gonna be first of many trips to the hardware store or the parts store or Harbor Freight or Home Depot, wherever we can buy the parts that we need in order to, you know what I'm saying, get this car running. In the meantime, I'll hit you up when I get there. All right, we just arrived. We're here at the store. It's called is it Barry's Hardware? Hopefully they got what we need. Let's go ahead and see. All right, here we are. I'll find some bolts. All right, so I think I found what I needed at the hardware store in regard to the bolts for this damn crane. But now I got to find an extra caster wheel that's going to fit. And on this specific crane from Harbor Freight, there's a few different sizes of caster wheel. And I tried to go to Harbor Freight to find it. They don't have it. You know, now I'm going to go to, what's this other place called? Home Depot to see if they have it. This looks like they might have something similar, but I'm not getting my hopes up for that because I don't know. But just so you know, if you buy something from Harbor Freight, not everything that they have has replacement parts. And most of the stuff that you want to get replacement parts for, you can't buy singularly. So you have to basically buy the whole thing all over again because they don't sell all the parts to replace things that are missing or broken. Unless you have like a warranty or some of that. And it's part of the journey, right? I'm not gonna get stressed out about it, but it's just, you know, driving all over the place and figuring it all out and all that stuff like that. It's just a little irritating. This day and age, it should not be difficult to get stuff that you need. You know, exact matches. All right, so we're here at the Home Depot. We're gonna go through and find out what we need, and I'll get back with you when we're done. Later. All right, so we're back. Home Depot was not a success. We didn't find what we needed, but I found a whole bunch of other junk that I just bought. I bought these little, I don't know if you can see them back there, but these little containers right there to organize some things. They were 6 for $20, or 6 for $10, sorry, which wasn't a bad deal. And I got a Coke. So now, Harbor Freight. Not a Harbor Freight either. These fools said I gotta call up customer service and ask them to send it to me, so we'll see how that works out. It is what it is, bro. I'm gonna make it work. If worst case scenario, I'll have to weld something or rig something just to get it to work. On to the next problem. Alright, what's up everybody? I'm back. I know I've been away for a couple days trying to work some things out here behind the scenes in regards to you know, getting some stuff done. So I'm going to show you where I'm at so far and what kind of progress I got. Check this out. So I got the engine out. I finally finished building the engine stand. Alright, so I got the engine stand done, and I pulled the engine out of the car finally. And I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking this apart. I gotta take this transmission off, and then take the transmission off away from the block, and we're gonna start tearing down the block today. This is what the car looks like without it. I was able to save a lot of parts. I saved the motor mounts. I saved the transmission mount, which I have over here. I'll show you. Here's a transmission mount. It's looking pretty good. I took off some of those before. I think I've showed you guys that before, but I took off motor mount, saved the bolts, and then everything else that I've taken off I've put up here inside of these little boxes, and I'm gonna keep doing that. I got plenty more for that. So everything's come out so smooth so far. I really haven't had any issues thus far, except some leaking and some fluid, but that's, you know, it's not going to be a clean job doing this. So I'm going to set you guys up and we're going to start tearing this apart. All right, here we go. I'm going to start taking out these bolts. Oh shit. Instead of taking off these bolts, this one came off earlier because when I removed the head covers and there was a shift linkage bracket there. I took that one off already. This one was missing. I still got that one right there. I got that one right there. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more somewhere over here that I have to find. But I'm gonna set you. Alright, transmission's off. Got it off. I had to take off that little plate right there. It's 4 bolts. 4 little bolts underneath. These little guys. That's the plate that we had to take off. Now we got the transmission off. Now next I got to figure out how to get off this pressure plate, I guess it is. Don't remember what it's called. Looks like it's got 3 bolts, but my motor doesn't turn over, so it's locked up. So I'm gonna have to come up with some way to get it off so I can mount it, or have to try to free up the engine. So we'll see how that works. 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there, another one on the bottom. There's 3 of those to get that pressure plate off. Motor's locked up, doesn't spin, so it's going to be difficult. I mean, I haven't really even tried it, but I'll take out the spark plug and see if I can turn it over. Yeah, let's try that. All right. Hi everybody, I'm back. So it's been a couple hours. I had my electrician come by, and my electrician came and installed 220 here in my garage, so I could be able to weld. So what I did, I got the transmission apart finally. I was able to get the flywheel off. I was able to get the donut thing, what do we call that thing? Torque converter. I got the torque converter off. I got everything labeled and put into these boxes so we could ensure that everything is, all these nuts and bolts are all organized and I could find them later. I took apart took off the water pump, the harmonic balancer, I think it was. I also had to take, I also took off the spark plugs and have it just sitting here right now on this little cart. But I'm going to go to the hardware store tomorrow to pick up the right bolts so it can fit on my engine stand. The bolts that I have in there now are not going to work. They're too short, and I need 2 more. So at least 4 bolts on there. Nice grade 8 bolts, and I'm going to get that taken care of tomorrow. Shouldn't be too expensive because they only cost about like $1 or $2 each, maybe $4 each. So go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to start taking off the heads, remove the oil pan, oil filter, and we'll go ahead and see what the block looks like. I'm excited to see what these pistons look like. So that's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. excited. Really excited to see what the pistons look like. I know I keep talking about that. I'm gonna remove the head. I don't know why I've been procrastinating for so long, but I have been. Excuse, my face is a little dirty from whatever grease and stuff, but you know, I'm really excited to see what these piston rings look like. Oh, the pistons, I'm sorry, the cylinder heads. Look to see what the block looks like. Hopefully it's not all pitted and rusted. Otherwise, we're scrapping this motor because I don't think it'll be worth it to get it machined and fixed. I'm trying to keep it because it's the original engine out of the car, 283 with a power glide, 2-speed power glide. And I know that's not the normal, that's not the upgraded version, you know, that people are running nowadays, because you know, everybody's LSing, or at least a 350 with the $700 trans, or the LS with the 4L80 or whatever. I'm trying to do this on a budget. I just want to get it on the road. I want to ride, you know. Eventually I probably will upgrade the motor, but as of right now, I'm kind of just right here where I'm at. I'm going to use what I got if I can. But if it's not cost effective to keep it, then I'm not going to keep it. I mean, it's just, it wouldn't make any sense. Because I can probably get a whole brand new motor for the price that I'd pay to rebuild this thing, and it'd already be rebuilt. Hopefully it would run, and or I could even rebuild a newer model for the same price. So that's where I'm at right now. Yeah, man, I'm just excited to get to this point. So we'll see what happens. All right, y'all. So I've removed the heads, and the first head on the driver's side, and I don't know, man. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, this one right here looks a little rusty. I don't know. Maybe that might be the stuck one. But it's gonna be hard to see behind there. A little crusty in there. And then here's the head. Valves are gone. Valves are super rusty. Heads are rusty. I think all this could be cleaned up. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but could be good. All right, now I'm gonna get onto the other side and see what they got on the other side. Let's see. Oh, I don't have good news. Check this out. That is rusty. Get the light. All right. No bueno, big dog. That was not bad. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. No bueno, big dog. Head to the telltale sign. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know.